Yield back, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Barr. Chair recognizes Mr. Posey.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for holding this hearing on the challenges affecting the current space situational awareness program. The President's Space Policy Directive 3 is a policy to improve the SSA and space traffic management through broad interagency coordination. One of the goals is to transfer the space debris repository from the Department of Defense to the Department of Commerce. So hopefully DOD can focus on its mission of protecting the United States and our allies, and the Commerce Department can focus on space debris with the expected launch increases. Part of this process involves setting standards. The National Institute of Standards and Technology is currently working on the best practices to encourage space safety and innovation. That's a really good thing. And according to Mr. Kevin O'Connell, Director of the Office of Space Commerce of the Department of Commerce, these new standards are in part key to making sure that the United States remains the flag of choice for space entrepreneurs. I think we all want to do that. Dr. Stilwell, with the number of launches expected to increase this year, space traffic management is important to our space program and vital to our national security. How do you think SPD3 will allow for more launches to occur in a safe manner?
In my experience, SPD3 has been very well received by the space community, and that there is a lot of enthusiasm for those concepts to move forward in order to facilitate growth and action. It's important that as we talk about debris mitigating behaviors and active debris removal, that we not set new entrants up for a situation where they're designing a launch that doesn't meet standards that will be developed shortly after or even years after. If we can develop those standards early, we support that industry, we support that growth, and we create an environment where people know what their target is. As specific questions about end-of-life access, so that we don't have two dead satellites that are heading towards each other, that honestly, having better data about their collision doesn't make the system safer. It just makes us know better that two non-maneuverable objects might collide. What we need to do is reduce the number of non-maneuverable objects that remain in space. And as a design function for the industry, they need to know what that expectation is. So there are a number of elements within SPD3 that set us down the path to giving predictability to a growing industry. And that's a very important part to support industrial growth.
If you just had to guess, what do you think some of the suggestions would be?
The 25-year rule is a very long rule. That's a long time to leave your objects in space. It doesn't take advantage of the technological innovation that has occurred since that rule was put into place. How you deorbit your satellite at end of life, there are a lot of more options now than when those concepts were developed. Those are important. And also the removal of large objects. There may be a very clear path that says you have an obligation, if you leave a large object in orbit, for the future active debris removal when that becomes available.
I would hope that we would see that. Do you think it's realistic to require internationally that every single satellite that's launched have a solid plan for how to deactivate that satellite and remove it from space?
I do think it's realistic. And the interest of the international community is the same as ours. Often in the space discussions, people say, well, would China do this? China, as an emerging spacefaring nation, has the same, if not a growing interest in ensuring the sustainability of space. There is an interest from every country that wants to be able to exploit the opportunities that space provides to ensure that that is available, that it is not a high-risk environment. So the beauty of working in the space industry is it tends to be nonpartisan and non-controversial. We want a lot of the same things. The international community wants that as well. Okay. We don't have these conflicts where people are saying, no, let's do nothing. Everybody wants somebody to do something, and the U.S. is in the perfect position to take that leadership role.
That's great. I hope we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Colorado,